is going on, traders? This is Jack with the Trading Tribe, and today I wanted to really go through a current trade as an example of how I will typically trade around the news, specifically with the ES futures market, and just how I kind of strategize that day to day. Up about $1,000 currently on a current trade with ES. I have an average price of about 55.37 and a quarter. So right around VWAP today is kind of where my average price is. I did recently move my stop to break even, so we'll kind of go through the trade start to finish, but obviously I'm still in it, so I'll kind of give you that strategy, if you will, on how I plan to attack the rest of the day, depending on what happens, but also just describing how I actually trade the news on a weekly basis. And we'll start by just looking at my news calendar. So I typically will use FinViz. FinViz is a free site that really gives you a pretty nice calendar showing all of the different news releases for the week. We obviously had a ton coming out today, right? We had initial claims, we had continuing claims, we had GDP numbers, and then even in other markets like natural gas, right? We had the natural gas report. So this just kind of helped me see that today would be a pretty volatile news day. And in this example, right, we see ES has been on under really nice uptrend on the hourly chart. And every time we pull back to these moving averages, typically that offers a pretty nice buying opportunity. Obviously, every trade is different, so it depends on the day, etc. But that's kind of the context I've used in this case. So ES has been in a pretty pure uptrend, right? This is kind of the next pullback, if you will, of that uptrend. And then I'm really looking for buys. And so my bias was definitely on the buy side this week. But I do want to time that right with news. So we'll notice right before this kind of rip today, we were on a 1 minute uptrend as well. So if I zoom out, this is the 1 minute chart of the day, and today's June 27th. So we can see right gas really ever since about midnight has been on this really nice gradual uptrend. After the news released, right, we can see volume had a huge spike, which triggered even more buying. And essentially, that's when I got involved with ES. And so you can essentially use news as almost a catalyst to get into the trade. How I like to do it is actually get in after the news. Getting in before the news can be a little bit like a lottery ticket, and it's a little bit like gambling, right? You're kind of guessing the direction. In my case, I like to get in after the news releases because typically you can get some really nice continuation. So in this case, we can see that the news was released right around 7:30 Central or 8:30 Eastern. And we can see right after that, we got another higher high, and the uptrend really just continued. And that's how I was able to build in an average price of about 55.37. And that's really how I've attacked today. I've gotten in pretty early after the news. Obviously, I'm letting today play out. We do have a really big key level right at about 55.50 that we have rejected so far today. But the way I look at today is we're really setting up for a breakout on the 1 minute, right? So I don't want to try to get out here just because we're dropping, right? I want to make the market tell me to get out, which is why my stop loss is down here near that last low on the 1 minute. And then in the event that it does continue up, right, this could be a pretty big trade if we can get above that key level, as we have highs of about 55.88, which is another 40 points or so higher. So hopefully this helps with just how I attack news. This is what I do typically on a day-to-day basis or on a week-to-week basis. Typically, there's only a few big news days a month, and this is how you can attack those days and still trade, but trade in a little bit of a safer way. So if you have any questions, feel free to like and subscribe down below, and we'll see you next time.